Now, this is very interesting because originally there was a lot of outrage over the fact that Capcom is starting to censor its female characters. And they're dressing them all the way up as nuns, and the video game journalists were incredibly happy. They were excited about this. I don't know why, though, because the community was livid. They were upset. And if you guys watched my video at the time, I said they are going to sell the costumes. And I knew that will happen due to the fact that they did it in Street Fighter V, and due to the fact that they also have costumes that leave the women almost completely naked. The bathing suits, for example. Just a pair of bikini, a pair of underwear, and there you go. So they make money out of that, right? I mean, it's financially profitable, the community loves it. And what's interesting is that the journalists hate it. Like, look at this. I don't know why I bother exposing people of hypocrisy, but I think it's very important that we laugh at them, because it's absolutely hilarious. So, when a company decides to censor a character, and you know they're censoring because often enough you do talk with the artists that work at that company, and the artist will say, yeah, I drew this character one way, but the HR lady said, like, no, we're maturing as a company, so you can't draw it like that. Or you have releases from the early versions of the game, and you see the character uncensored, and then it comes out that it's being censored. Now, when you complain, it's going to be like, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Why are you so sad about it? Why are you upset? You know, if you want to watch porn, go watch porn. Why are you upset? That is the argument that you're getting. Now that it's happening in reverse, now that the journalists were tricked and led to believe that the censorship happens, now they are crying. And I would like to see people in the comment section asking them, why do you care so much? It doesn't affect you. But anyway, right, so we're talking about Capcom. And in the beginning, they released a lot of their female characters covered all the way up like nuns, much to the happiness and enthusiasm of video game journalists who probably don't even play the game, right? Like, I do not expect that Stacy Henley is going to be a platinum-ranked Street Fighter player that I am going to face off against her, right? Like, they do not play the game. The only reason they care about the game is for ideological reasons. And probably because it's their job to talk about some nonsense about the game. But I did say at the time that Capcom is going to release the original costumes and more because it's financially profitable. They cannot sell DLC if it's ugly. Even Mortal Kombat, which is one of the woke fighting games out there, Woke Combat is being dubbed, even they are selling DLC with the original costumes, with the latex, skin-tight ninja suits for Melina and Kitana, because that's where the money is. You know, you can get away by releasing ugly characters in a fighting game because people still buy the game for the gameplay reason. But if the DLC is ugly, no one buys the DLC. They already have the game, they already have the gameplay. They're not going to buy a costume that looks like dog shit. No one does that, okay? So it's financially inappropriate to do that. But here you have the journalists, and the journalists have absolutely no connections to the company, okay? If the game fails, they do not lose money. It's the people at the company that get fired, that get sacked, that have to go to their wives and say that we can't put food on the table, darling, because the video game journalist has pushed some ideology on our company that got the suits to be dumb fucks, and they took such stupid financial decisions that now we're out of a job. Meanwhile, the journalist is still happy, you know, swinging their wine, surrounded by an army of cats and drenched in cat piss, alone in their house, like writing articles about how they can tank another company. Demo, Shkushi, look at this. Perhaps I shouldn't care so much about an optional additional costume. But you must, because you're an authoritarian. You're the soccer mother without children. How can you live? How can you justify your existence as a journalist if you do not try to control what other people do? Like, how can I play Street Fighter if the journalist is not sitting behind me, looking at it, very concerned to see what images I am being exposed to? That is literally your job. Like, without that, what are you? What are you? How can you be a journalist if you're not moral busybody? So the thing is, I don't care so much. No, you do. You do. I just think it's very stupid. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. If anything, it's a relief Seeing the classic outfit in Street Fighter 6 is the perfect reminder of why the games need to evolve, like the Zerg. They need to morphosize into a cancerous tumor, and then evolve into something akin to the California culture. We need to dominate Japan so that they can evolve and be more like California, so they can have homeless people too. And needles with drugs on the streets and shit on every corner. That's what we need to bring every society to the level of California. Like drag them from the darkness depth of low crime rate and bring them up to the American standard, huh? Fucking hell, like what does it even mean to evolve in the first place? So basically, in order to evolve, all femininity from the game needs to be removed, right? Because that's what they're talking about. Like, first they're going to dress all the women up, and then they want those strong jawlines, those muscular shoulders, those broad armpits, you know, that show me that facial hair on the female character. That's what they're advocating for. That's what evolving means. Like, evolving, if you look at Cammy, which is feminine, no, that's not evolving, that is weak. No, we need to empower Cammy, give her a beard, put a beard, pump the testosterone into her, right? And then the game journalists are happy. And it's like, oh, finally, we have evolved. If it takes Cammy having a massive wedgie for holdouts to realize the game needed to move forward with fresh looks, maybe it will be worth it. How is it a fresh look? Like, this is happening from 2016. The industry is stale as fuck. Whatever a game comes from the West, I genuinely know it's like you're going to not have women, you're going to have body types. Body type A or body type B, so that I can have a subscriber from God knows where popping up and like, V, why are you complaining about body type? Everyone is doing it, V. Everyone is doing it. You need to start doing it as well. Like, you need to take moral from the corporations. If the corporations are doing it, you need to get on board with the program, right? Go to your mother and call her body type B when you go. Go to your wife and call her a body type B just to show how much you love her and how much you matured and evolved and a progressive individual you are. But no, like, unironically, it's funny because they don't even know the arguments of why it's considered to be evolving or why it's wrong. I know the arguments, okay? But the arguments are so dumb that culture has moved past and they can't articulate them anymore. Like, the argument of why women need to be dressed up and look less feminine in video games is due to the fact that we live in a rape culture, you see. And men have unrealistic standards of women when they play video games, right? Like they see Cammy, and they're surrounded by phone calls from other women. And all the other women want to ask the man out, but the man's like, well, you don't look like Cammy, so I can't go out with you. That is literally the ideology that they're pushing. That is literally what they think. But unfortunately, they can't articulate it anymore because they don't even know that it's coming from that wave of feminism. And now they're like, well, we shouldn't do this. Why not? I don't fucking know, but we shouldn't. Because we're evolving, we're maturing, we're blah, blah, blah. But if you literally ask her, like, what is wrong with Cammy having a massive wedgie? If people want that, like, if people are willing to pay for that, you know, if people want to see a clown in a suit and they're willing to give money, what's your problem with it? They can't articulate it. They don't know. It's hilarious, isn't it? Let me know what you think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.